First round at this time of the year with snow and ice about, always tricky. And I wonder what the next 80 minutes has ahead of us. You're watching Leeds against Dewsbury, exclusive on the Sports Channel. And my Nathan Graham has got this tie underway. John Gallagher, I've no doubt one of the big attractions for him coming up from New Zealand to Leeds was the chance of playing in a Challenge Cup final. Paul Harkin and Schofield. That's a good ball. Kuwaiti and another. Gibson. Rombo's outside him. Well, Gibson really should have given him the ball. He has now. And dangerous moments for Dewsbury, forced back onto the defensive in the very first minute.
That really was a wasted chance, Eddie. Gibson should have passed the ball out wide.
And Dixon's dropped it. And what's more, Dewsbury are in possession.
What a great start that would have been for the Leeds side. They split the Dewsbury defence with so much ease. But Gibson should have looked for his wingman there.
Dewsbury with everything to gain, nothing to lose. Could have been rocked by a 4-pointer there. As it is, they are the team now in possession and coming forward. That's a good ball, good run too from Dean Hall. And only his opposite number, Paul Dixon, pulling him down. Kick over the top. Gallagher watches it, and the wind is blowing right down the field. And so Neil Kelly's kick just drifts into the snow and runs down. It's bitterly cold, Mike. Anything can happen today.
It certainly can, and Dewsbury would have got a lot of confidence from the fact that they made that half break.
Malloy for Leeds. Good tackling by McCabe. Kuwaiti managed to hold on. Schofield finds Gallagher. Good tackling though. That's Squires and Dickinson bringing Gallagher down. Here's Roy Powell. Kelly and Dickinson again in on the tackling. Harkin. That's a good ball. That's Gary Lord. Last tackle. Schofield. No other option other than to kick ahead. First division against second in this particular battle today. Leeds unbeaten here at Headingley since Australia beat them 22 points to 10 on the 21st of October. A huge task for Dewsbury. Martin McCabe, though, in possession for them. Kelly is the acting halfback. Toole is the scrum half. Kelly again. There's Barry Drummond. Barry Drummond, as well as being a fair rugby league player, is a good boxer. Let's hope we don't see too much of that today. Here's Toole. Kick over the top. It bounces off Bentley's legs. Dewsbury can follow up now and pin him, and they do. Good chasing by the men from the second division.
Certainly was. Nice kick there to Bentley. They surrounded him very, very quickly. Of course, Dewsbury will want to try to pull Leeds into a forward battle, but Leeds obviously out to swing the ball out wide. They have the pace, and especially the experience of Schofield out wide there.
The last time that these two sides met in the Challenge Cup in the post-war period was a quarter-final at Crown Flat in March 1974. Dewsbury won that day 9 points to 2, and David Ward, the Leeds coach, was a substitute on that occasion. He'll be hoping that history won't repeat itself. Good break from Kuwaiti, the big raw-boned Kiwi, loose forward for Leeds. Richard Gunn. Schofield does well. Ball is untidy, and referee gives Dewsbury a penalty. Offside.
No doubt about this. Schofield trying to get the ball away. There you see he has his right hand bandaged. It went loose. The Dewsbury man played it through, but a Leeds man connected to it, and the Leeds man was caught offside.
Well, it's snowing again. That ball's going to stay up on the roof. It won't come down. It's caught in the snow. I hope they've got a supply of footballs.
In this weather, Eddie, it could be up there for quite some days.
Conditions like this mean that matches like this are so delicate as far as the big boys are concerned. Here comes Dewsbury with Toole. It's all or nothing for them today. Kelly is the acting halfback. That's Vasey. Used to play here at Leeds. The ball, though, has been stripped from him. Leeds have it back. Schofield alert as the ball slipped out.
Well, that was unfortunate there. Dewsbury doing a crisscross move early that made the gap. And Leeds, they've got to tighten this defence up. Dewsbury are finding those holes.
Powell is pinned by McCabe and Whitehead. Harkin and Gary Lord. Two players with Wembley experience. In fact, there are plenty of players in this Leeds side who've been to Wembley with other clubs. Malloy has dropped it. He played in the semi-final for Warrington last season and then was left out for Wembley, Steve Malloy. And a bad mistake from him here.
Well, not so much a mistake, but very good play by the Dewsbury forwards there. Getting the hand to the ball on the blind side of the referee, resulting in the scrum.
Good start this from the men from the second division. The first scrum of the afternoon. 6 minutes gone, 0-0. That's John Moore. And if it snows much harder than this, we'll be playing in a blizzard.
Well, this certainly will help the Dewsbury side. They've got quite a large pack of forwards.
It's a day that favours the little boys from the second division, this. Leeds need an early score to settle down these nerves. Lovely little kick over the top. Gallagher read it well. That's good play. Still going Gallagher. Eventually pulled down by Bailey. Toole was there as well. Here's Harkin. Kuwaiti. Good ball. Bentley. John Bentley's got Rombo in support. Again, the ball doesn't come to Rombo. It spills out, and the referee said it hit a Dewsbury player, and so it's 6 more. First examination then of the Dewsbury defence. Kuwaiti. Long pass out to the far side, well picked up by David Creaser. Now Schofield again. Powell at full tilt. Desperate defence from Dewsbury. Martin McCabe bringing the big man down. Schofield again. Harkin. Dixon gets the ball out to Bentley. Now Rombo. Eddie Rombo. Can he get the ball down? What's the referee's decision to try? Rombo's second in 2 weeks for Leeds. Not as spectacular as 7 days ago, but perhaps just as valuable. His second try. But his first at Headingley.
That seemed like an eternity. Dixon here getting the ball away well. Lovely ball out. Here's Rombo. He steps inside. Drummond can do nothing with it. Graham is wrestling with him. And it looks all the world, but he gets it down, no doubt about it. Head-on shot. Lovely ball from Schofield. Harkin out wide. There we see Dixon get it out. Now watch for Rombo. Here he stepped. He did the right thing. Took Drummond away, but poor Graham didn't have the strength to hold him back.
And Eddie Rombo is suddenly a hero here at Headingley. He's now played in 3 of the last 4 matches for Leeds. That's his second try in successive weeks. The headline writer's dream, as we said last Sunday. Schofield, not the best kick in the world. It never got off the ground. Doesn't matter. Leeds ahead, 4-0. The nerves now should settle.
Well, they both certainly should. Leeds realising that they have to spin this ball out wide. They would be rather foolish to try to get sucked into a hard, slogging game in the forwards, especially when you've got so much speed out wide.
Just 10 minutes on the watch then. First blood to the men from the First Division. They've never been to Wembley since 1978, Leeds. They defeated Saints in an epic final, 14-2. They won the cup in 1968, 1957 and way back in 1936. Is 1991 to be their year? Dixon. As far as, and the ball's come free, I was going to say, Mike, as far as Dewsbury are concerned, they really will have to stem the Leeds tide if they possibly can and stay with them, certainly up to half-time.
Well, yes, the ploy is to try to spoil them, but they've found a couple of gaps. But Leeds, as I mentioned earlier, they have the speed. Now here we see Dixon getting involved here. The referee had no option. The ball is pulled away, no doubt about it. Slips away, he may pull his hand up. Now we find out that as Drummond pulls his hand away, only sneaky, but not good enough to foil the referee's eyes.
And Dixon got a shoulder injury there as the ball was taken from him. So penalty to Leeds. Richard Gunn restarts. Here's Rombo, try scorer. A little buzz around Headingley every time Rombo gets it now. Rombo the Rambo. Malloy. Still going Malloy. Well pulled down by McCabe. Harkin and Kuwaiti. Gary Lord. Good defending. 3 Dewsbury players like wasps all round him. Kuwaiti. Harkin. Schofield. Gallagher came up in support. Couldn't cling on. And John Moore has it for Dewsbury.
He came up a little bit too fast there, Gallagher. Wasn't the best of passes either from Schofield. It was a no-win situation.
Dewsbury will start again then. McCabe.
Of course, Leeds' biggest problem now is that now that they've got on the score sheet, not to fall back into the fact that they may find it easy. They're still going to have to work hard to win this game.
Gallagher. Gibson. Still going Gibson. It's a good strong run from the Leeds centre. Had a hamstring injury, a slight pull at Castleford last week, was withdrawn by his coach, David Ward. Bentley. Well, let's go downstairs and join Peter Hutton on the touchline.
News is that number 15, Dave Heron's coming on for Leeds. He's going to replace Paul Dixon, who goes off with a shoulder injury. The other thing just about the handling conditions, Leeds doing well to keep the ball alive when he considered a difficult state of affairs, not only bitterly cold, but also the pitch very wet, very slippy.
Yes, handling not too bad considering. Good skills there from Kuwaiti and Powell. Last tackle. Harkin, Gallagher's in support, there he is. Harkin, the move keeps going. Gunn and Powell, still Roy Powell. Good defending Dewsbury, swarmed round him. And that's 6 tackles gone, that's the turnover.
Well, some good play there by Leeds. They're at least backing up the man with the ball, but the thing that does surprise me is that the man running onto it is Powell. And really he's not the explosive player that they should have.
Gibson and Gunn managed to bring Martin McCabe to the floor. Kelly again, the dummy half. Oh, he's lost it. That's a bad mistake. Fortunately for him, Barry Drummond was there to pick up the pieces. And what's more, the referee says that Dewsbury have 6 more tackles to get out of trouble. Glenn Coughlin, the loose forward in possession. Kelly again. Good little ball inside. McCabe. It's been forced back. by Powell. Kelly, kick for ground to try and relieve the pressure. Gallagher gets it, and the referee says that was a knock-on. Well, that to me looked as though it went through John Gallagher's legs, and the expression on his face, I think he agrees.
Well, here we see the replay, no doubt about it, but there's always a misinterpretation of the rules that if you release the ball from your hands whilst facing the opposition, it can often be classified as a knock-on, but it didn't certainly look it to me.
David Heron then for Paul Dixon, injured a few minutes ago. Handling errors, by the way, as the two sides scrum down. Leeds have made 5, Dewsbury only 2. Full-back Graham joining the line. Coming up to 16 minutes gone. Dewsbury have acquitted themselves well here on their big day so far. That's a good ball inside for Dean Hall.
The most pleasing aspect is that Dewsbury is at least trying to do something different. They're switching the play, crisscrossing, run rounds.
Good run from Bailey this. 10 metres short of the line. Dennis Bailey. Kick ahead. Leeds are able to snuff out the danger, courtesy of David Heron. Well, at the risk of making my colleague up here on the television gantry blush, let me remind you that in 1973 Dewsbury beat Leeds in the championship final at Odsal 22-13, and a certain Mike Stevenson played his last match before going to Sydney. 2 brilliant tries and man of the match. Would you agree?
I'll reserve judgment on that one.
He is blushing. It's either he's blushing or it's the cold. Dewsbury aren't blushing. This is Martin McCabe. Kelly is again the acting halfback. Whitehead the first receiver. Good pressure this from Dewsbury. They're inside the 22. Toole and Vasey. Well, the sheer power of that tackle on Vasey forced the ball out of his arms. And it's that last few inches. Gallagher thundered to the floor. Now, a couple of weeks ago, Gallagher was spear tackled at St Helens, and it really did rock his confidence. And Dewsbury getting stuck in on the former All Black Rugby Union full-back there. Look at that. Now, that really isn't allowed in this game.
Well, it shouldn't be allowed, and as you said, Eddie, that it rocked his confidence, and that wouldn't have helped him either.
Bentley is the man on the end of that Schofield pass. Bentley charging down the wing. Bailey forced him to come inside. Look at the way they're powering him into touch, the Dewsbury defenders. Good play by the men from the second division. Right smile from Bentley.
Well, it certainly was. This is what it's all about, the second effort. Bentley should have gone down here. He knew there was nowhere to go, but look at the guys swarming in. That's excellent defensive stuff.
And so Dewsbury had head and feet. They have possession with Bailey, the man who made John Bentley just check and come inside. That's Craig Whitehead hanging on for Dewsbury. Kelly again masterminding from the play the ball with a big prop forward, Martin McCabe. It's Tim Toole. Nice little sidestep. Nathan Graham, the fullback, chips ahead. Oh, Schofield managed to pluck it out of the air. And Malloy's on his way.
Well, they're certainly playing with a lot of fire, Dewsbury, but they will have to start going low. There's far too many head-high tackles. You can't stop the man with the ball when you're going high. They've got to start going for the legs.
Referee's patience held there as Kawiti tried to get to his feet. Andy Dickinson didn't get out of the way. Dewsbury lucky to get away with that. And Leeds lucky to get away with that. This is Heron. Heron marauding down. Good pass and good support from Creaser. The ball, though, the final pass was behind the man. Gary Moore manages to cling on. Schofield, midway through this first half. Harkin, long pass out to Gibson. Rombo, 2 for Eddie Rombo.
Well, it all came about from that lovely break by Heron. Lady Luck shining on the Leeds side. But he's in for his second try. The crowd is abuzz, and why not? But that was just simple basics. After the Heron run, they switched the ball out wide. Lovely little dummy there from Harkin out to Gibson, and there was just no one there. The wingmen were caught in. You see the number 2 here. He knows he's out of position. He had to go across and cover. He had to tackle Heron. That's the reason why he's out of position. It was a simple task by the Great Britain tender Gibson, and Rambo in for 2.
Eddie Rombo, the man who was playing in the sunshine of Kenya just 12 months ago, now on the snowy waste of Headingley. 2 tries in the opening 20 minutes here. And the Headingley crowd have found a new hero. Running 4 tries, the Wigan Sevens in the summer. Leeds offered him the contract, and now Gary Schofield has his second conversion attempt from far out on this touchline again. There is the hero of the moment, Eddie Rombo. Had to wait for his chance. He took it gleefully with both hands over the past 2 weeks. Schofield will want to shape better with this kick than he did before, but he hasn't. He's pulled it wide. And Leeds on another day might miss their regular goal kicker Simon Irving.
They certainly would, but I don't think they've anything to worry about today. Here's the ball that sent Lady Luck, you see. The ball bounced away. The referee was correct. Heron raced through the gap. The Dewsbury defence was split. And it was from that particular play that poor Barry Drummond had to go across, make the tackle, and found himself out of position.
Leeds 8-0 ahead then. 22 minutes of this first half gone. Lady Luck shining on Leeds there. Gunn gives it to Malloy. Of course, Mike, when you were playing in Dewsbury's colours, Dewsbury one of the top sides in the game, but what would these boys from the second division's approach be to this match at Headingley? Would it be, to use an old cliche, their Wembley today?
Well, it most certainly is, and probably they'd be on their biggest wage packet for quite some time. But there's incentives all round, because let's face it, they don't get the opportunity to be on show against the wonderful big sides like Leeds. Therefore, they really have got to try, and they're trying well. Lady Luck hasn't been with them, that's for sure.
Craig Whitehead in possession. Now McCabe, head down, to drill a hole through Carl Gibson's chest. Tim Toole, Daisy waiting. Leeds won't want to concede a try. Give the little club a bit of hope. It's Bailey on that far side. 6'4", 14.5 stone, that fellow. Number 5, he's a nightclub bouncer, I'm told. Don't pick an argument with him, Mike.
I don't go to those places.
With a knock on. The ball must be like a bar of soap. Schofield dropped it from this high kick from Tim Toole.
Well, the referee has picked him for offside. There you see, even though he did lose a possession, Chris Squires was deemed to be within the 10 yards, and therefore the penalty to Leeds.
Well, another football has been deposited on the roof of the main stand opposite. And so that's 2 gone. We have our third new ball. It's a good run, good driving run from David Heron. There's the second football. stuck in the snow. I only hope that they've brought plenty with them today. Leeds. Offside though.
It was only close. Here you see Powell running round. Let's see. Well, 50-50. This time, the luck going towards Dewsbury.
The referee pointed at Dewsbury. It was a forward pass. Say, Mike, referee signals these days do tend to catch us out once or twice.
I think referees in general catch everybody out once or twice, maybe more than that.
Dewsbury in possession. Toole. And the loose forward is Coughlin. Well, they're not really getting much moving, are they, from their set plays. Leeds are swarming up to bring them into a bit of danger. And there is another forward pass, says the referee.
Yes, well, there you see the hooker taking the full swing round. There's no doubt about it. Chris Squires just half a yard in front. But the difference between the two sides, and that's the reason why Leeds are in the first division, Dewsbury in the second. Leeds playing the ball very quickly, but Dewsbury are being held down by Leeds. And they're playing the ball a lot slower.
First scrum that Leeds have won, and Schofield trying to make it pay. Gallagher, though, just overran it a bit. Bounced off his shoulder. And a knock-on is the result.
Well, this really should have been a break. Gallagher once again coming a little bit too early. I wonder whether his confidence is still a little bit on the wane.
Penalty at the scrum to Dewsbury. Leg up at the scrum. Could have been any one of four players for Leeds penalised on that occasion. A few more metres made by Nathan Graham. 19-year-old, former Dewsbury coach. Graham, the fullback. Here's Craig Whitehead. Now McCabe. Toole directing operations from acting half-back this time. There's Kelly, now Coughlin. And they're on the Leeds quarter. Lacey. Support just melted away like the snow. But a penalty to Dewsbury for stripping the ball out in the tackle when the tackle was completed on Chris Vasey. A penalty to the men from the second division. They'll surely kick for goal here.
Well, there you see the ball was released there. Was it kicked out or not? Still, the referee decided it was. Get a bit of different angle here. No, a little bit awkward. But the referee deemed that it was kicked out or pulled out. And Dewsbury do get that penalty. There you saw Chris Vasey receiving treatment. Very good player. He was looking for the man outside him. Didn't arrive. And they got away with the penalty. This will lift their confidence if they can kick this penalty goal.
And Chris Vasey, something to celebrate despite the fact that he has that knock. The referee having to hold up the clock while Vasey receives treatment, because as you can see he's right in the flight path, if you like, for the fullback Nathan Graham, who's going to take this penalty. The reason that Chris Vasey in your picture now has got something to celebrate, he's recently become a dad. So Nathan Graham then. Great prospect, they think of him. 9 goals this season already. And he'll remember number 10. Nathan Graham gets the scoreboard clicking for Dewsbury. His 10th goal of the season. Leeds 8, Dewsbury 2.
Well, that certainly put them back into the game. Very good kick by the youngster. And Dewsbury really have acquitted themselves extremely well this first half.
10 minutes to go then. Dewsbury are anything but disgraced so far. Barry Drummond. And on loan from Featherstone. Signed a month ago. Dewsbury have already played a Challenge Cup tie this season. The ball's come free. Leeds have it back. They beat the Cumbrian Cup winners Hensingham in the preliminary round a couple of weeks ago to set up this tie at Headingley. And here's Gary Lord. Still going Lord. Eventually hauled to ground. Dean Hall was swinging round his neck. His weight bringing him to ground. Gunn. Not much to choose in the team tackle department. It was well picked up. Kuwaiti to Gallagher. Timed his run perfectly that time. And that's a marauding run down the line from Gallagher. Rombo, the dummy half. Going on his own. Confidence. Actually, you've seen the fellow grow in stature over the past couple of weeks. Schofield. That's a long pass to Harkin. Lord feeding off him. Powell. Ball goes to ground. Referee says play on. Malloy has it. That's the last tackle. It's the turnover. Leeds looked bewildered. The referee says he shouted. And I think a little bit of petulance there from Steve Malloy as he threw the ball away in disgust, and that's why the penalty's been given.
That was a silly penalty there by Malloy. That gives you the confidence that Leeds have. They feel that they have the measure of Dewsbury by not electing to kick. That's twice they've gone to ground with the ball on the last tackle. They feel that they have this game. Let's wait and see. There's only 4 points in it.
Here's Toole. Well, Dewsbury maybe have got a bit of confidence from their first couple of points. Kelly will kick. Gallagher collects. Good chasing from number 9 Kelly, the captain, and Tim Toole in support there, the scrum half. Malloy. I must say the pitch standing up well to this. So far anyway. Powell. Still going Roy Powell. That ball's come free. Well, he managed to cling on. Looked for a moment as though Dickinson had it. But Dewsbury have Schofield all wrapped up. Richard Gunn. Substitute Heron. Gunn in support. Powell coming forward on the burst. Malloy drops it. Referee says knock on. He's been quick to pin Leeds for those, and I don't think Gary Schofield agrees.
Well, once again a dubious call there. I must give credit to Dean Hall. You see him there on the right. Was it a knock on? It didn't look it to me. But the referee's in charge. For the Dewsbury second row, Dean Hall pulled off 2 great tackles just then.
Referee not happy where the ball was being fed at the scrum. Happy that time. Toole has it for Dewsbury. Wandering tackle from Schofield. Kelly again. Oh, that's good play. McCabe. Whitehead in possession. Kuwaiti and Gibson all round him. Penalty surely. Referee right on the spot. Gibson penalised for stripping the ball when the referee had called held. Absolutely right.
Well, the referee should do something about this. This could spoil a game. The conditions are very, very tricky indeed. He's called held. Gibson did it right under his nose. Not what you expect from an international star.
This time the snow doesn't claim the football. We have that one back. Tim Toole, the dummy half. McCabe say the Dewsbury forwards have worked hard in this first half. Coughlin. And that now is Dean Hall again. Now it's with Vasey. Kelly, the captain, clapping his hands, urging his players forward. Toole again. Eight points to 2. Leeds are ahead. Unlucky. Leeds breathe a little sigh of relief. Dewsbury were examining their defence again there, just trying to force the pace. Malloy brushing the tacklers off. Heron. Number 15 for Leeds, the longest serving player. 1977. He joined this club. Here's one of the newest, John Gallagher. 4 minutes to half-time. Gallagher's got Gibson support. Gibson heading for the corner. Look for Rombo, but doesn't need him. And Gibson has scored the try despite being ankle-tapped about 4 or 5 metres short of the line. He managed to scramble over for try number 5 of the season. The man dropped from the international squad in the Leeds Cup semi-final of 1986. And getting on the end of this John Gallagher run to push Leeds further ahead.
Well, it was poor tackling really that let Gallagher get slipped away. There was 2 Dewsbury players, they should have got him. And there you see a last desperate attempt to stop Gibson. Now watch, you'll see the 2 Dewsbury players, Dickinson and Coughlin, they go in, they collide, they should have got him. They went far too high. This made the initial break. Good thinking here by Gibson. That's why he's in the Great Britain squad. He knew he had to come inside. There we saw Rombo, would have got his hat-trick, no doubt about it, but slipped up. But Gibson, no one in front of him, did the rest.
So Gary Schofield has another difficult conversion attempt. Well, he's getting closer every time. And this time, it just faded to the left of the posts. And Gary Schofield has a wry little smile to himself. Leeds increased the lead then, 12 points to 2. But the men from the second division are certainly not being disgraced here.
No, they put a lot of effort into it. Unfortunately, they're going far too high in the tackle, and you can't allow classy players like Gallagher to have half a chance.
2 minutes of ordinary time in this first half still to play, plus any stoppages. Remember, Dixon was injured, Vasey needed a bit of a treatment, so perhaps a little more than 2 minutes to play. Referee penalises Leeds for crossing, penalty to Dewsbury. I wonder if they'll run it or have another shot at goal. No, we're going to give it to Nathan Graham to have another kick at goal here.
Well, there's no doubt about this. Gun goes around the back of Malloy, and there you see Malloy stopping the Dewsbury defence from getting through. Had plenty to say to the referee today.
A man who desperately wants to get to Wembley in your picture there. Steve Malloy played in the semi-final last season for Warrington. Dropped by Warrington coach Brian Johnson for Wembley. Then on the transfer list, needless to say. And then here to Headingley. So Nathan Graham with this penalty attempt. Just wide this time. Nathan Graham is taking a sports degree at Leeds University and trains alone during the course of the week. See him only on match days, Jack Addy was telling me. In fact, they've hardly seen any of the Dewsbury players over the past fortnight because of the bad weather. This is the first time they've met up for 2 weeks.
Well, they certainly haven't disgraced themselves. They found quite a few gaps in the Leeds defence. It's just that they just don't have that speed or the second effort, the second phase in attack to finish it off.
The tallest man on the field, Dennis Bailey. We're in stoppage time now in this second half. That's a good kick. That's an excellent kick. Great stuff from Neil Kelly, Dewsbury hooker and captain.
Certainly is. He's worked very hard. Good position. Split the gap between Rombo and Gallagher. Let's hope he can finish off the job with one against the head.
Half a minute of stoppage time played. Here's Rombo. Schofield. Gallagher the dummy half. Roy Powell. And there's the siren. Just a minute or so of injury time played here at Headingley. And the men of Dewsbury in the black, amber and gold can say that they've done very well here. Gary Schofield, though, will be delighted that Leeds are going in at half-time with a 10-point advantage. It's Leeds 12, Dewsbury 2, all square. Scrums going Dewsbury's way, penalties going Dewsbury's way, and Leeds making more handling errors as Gary Schofield gets us underway for the second half. And you'll notice that Leeds have changed their shorts during the interval, gone from white to blue. One or two of the Headingley faithful will remember that Leeds used to play in all blue not too long ago. And I noticed that Gary Cox, number 15 in the Dewsbury jersey, has come on for Andy Dickinson, number 11. There's the new boy, Gary Cox, former Wakefield Trinity front row forward. So a fresh pair of legs in the Dewsbury pack. That's Chris Squires, who was in possession then for Dewsbury. There is Cox. His clean jersey standing out like a beacon. Toole and Kelly hanging on, looking for support. Dewsbury bunching round the player in possession. Little kick ahead from Nathan Graham to his opposite number, John Gallagher. So the danger there snuffed out for Leeds. The last time, incidentally, Dewsbury played at Headingley in the Cup was in 1986 against St Helens. They only lost 22-19 against the Saints that day. They were ordered to play here because Crown Flat, their home ground, was icebound. So they only seem to come to Headingley when the weather's bad. Rombo. Here he goes again. The man who's on a hat-trick. Good run. Exciting, Mike, isn't he, every time he gets the ball. Now he's got a bit of confidence.
Certainly he's got the speed. And this is what Leeds will be looking for in the second half. Hoping that Dewsbury will tire and spread the ball out wide.
Gibson. Score of that try late in that first half that has given us the 12-2 situation. Heron. Malloy. Still going Malloy. Oh, that was nearly a great pass inside. It was on the last tackle, and so possession immediately turns over.
Good run by Malloy, but not the best of passes. The hooker didn't want that.
Graham. Oh, this is a great run from Nathan Graham. The Dewsbury crowd who've turned up here, and I do believe the noise they're making, they're outnumbering Leeds inside the stadium today, enjoyed that.
That really was a great run by the fullback. The youngster's doing okay for himself.
And penalty again to Dewsbury. Marker moving off the mark. Chris Vasey says that Dewsbury will have another kick at goal here. Right in front of the sticks, Chris Vasey. Only survivor from the last match against Leeds in 1985 for Dewsbury. Former Leeds player Chris Vasey. Back at Dewsbury after loan spells with Doncaster and York. He has this attempt to bring Dewsbury back to within 8 points. A measured goal kick, and Chris Vasey has pulled Dewsbury back to within 8 points, as I say. Leeds 12, Dewsbury 4.
It's quite obvious that their coach, Jack Addy, has been giving them a lot of encouragement in the half-time break. He said before the game he wanted his boys to go out there and enjoy the occasion.
But there's a mistake from the kick-off.
Well, from glory to the depths of depression, it really was a very, very poor attempt by the lock forward. And that's why the worried look is on the Dewsbury coach.
Leeds head and feet, of course, and they're 10 metres short of the line. Harkin gets possession. Schofield. Harry Schofield taking them on. Gives it to David Creaser. But David Creaser surrendered possession immediately to Tim Toole. And Toole is allowed to run away from that situation. Bad play by Leeds.
Well, it was stupid play, really. Schofield had made the initial break. Creaser had all the time in the world. He should have gone to ground. It isn't as though Leeds are desperate for the points as yet.
Toole. There's Vasey. Dewsbury will be pepped, I think, by that little extra 2 points that Vasey just knocked over for them. It's the last tackle, so they'll kick for ground. Looks a bit unsure. Almost through again. Good tackling by Chris Squires. Powell. Powell only knows the one way, but he's dropped the ball there in that tackle. 3 Dewsbury players converged on him. The sheer force surrendered the possession back to Dewsbury, and Vasey has it right on the halfway line. This is McCabe. And there's the substitute, Gary Cox. Toole, Vasey. Second row forward, Dean Hall steaming forward. That's a great ball, and Nathan Graham. Can he be caught? No! And the boys from the second division are over. Nathan Graham's 7th try of the season, and look at the jubilation on their faces. Dewsbury have snapped back at the start of this second half in some style.
That was a beautiful ball by Vasey to the second rower, Dean Hall, and the fullback fully deserved this. There's no doubt about it. For the first time, the second phase of attack comes through. Look at the second rower come through. It was a poor attempt, but the speed, that's the way to back up the man with the ball. The gap was there. Gibson was too late. It's a great try. Head on. Poor attempt. But look at the man linking up there. There's just no one. The fullback's all at sea, and that's a great 4-pointer.
Nathan Graham has a habit of scoring spectacular tries against First Division opposition. Did it last season in the Regal Trophy at St Helens. And he's followed that up with a spectacular effort here at Headingley. And now Chris Vasey has this kick to put Dewsbury within 2 points of Leeds. He's kicked it. Chris Vasey has kicked 2 goals at the start of this second half. Dewsbury have run in a try, and look at that scoreline. Leeds 12, Dewsbury 10, and the old club, Mike, could be on the verge of something.
Well, I hope so. I mean, they fully deserved it. It was a tremendous effort in the first 40 minutes. Leeds came out for the second stanza, and they looked as though Dewsbury, they thought they were going to run them ragged, but it's been the other way around, and full credit to the red, amber and black boys.
So, Dewsbury within 2 points.
And to be quite fair to the Dewsbury side, there's the Leeds coach, David Ward. Now he's the man worrying. There's still 2 points in the lead, but Dewsbury really have showed a great amount of enterprise. They're the side that's put on most of the moves, though that's not a good one.
Richard Gunn has the possession for Leeds. Now Harkin. Good tackle by Cox. It's not completed though. Harkin is still going. Here's Powell. Roy Powell almost unloaded to Creaser. Dewsbury fumbling back. David Ward, a concerned man. Malloy knows his big money team, David Ward, mustn't be embarrassed today. Heron and Lord and Schofield is under the posts. Leeds have struck back in the best possible manner. Gary Schofield, the try-poacher supreme, steaming through from 10 metres out. And although Dewsbury had a hand on him, they couldn't stop Schofield for his 12th try of the season.
Lovely ball there from Harkin. Nice little pass by Heron onto Lord as he was hitting the ground. A lovely step. He had the fullback all at sea. Here we see Heron getting a Lord just off the ground as he gets to the deck. There's the step. The fullback could do nothing about it, and in these slippy conditions, the Leeds skipper slides in for a vital 4 points.
Schofield then, with his easiest conversion attempt of the afternoon, adds the extra 2 to his own 4, and Leeds can breathe a little easier. 10 minutes of the second half gone.
Well, I'm sure that Gary Schofield will be pleased with that, to bounce back in the best possible fashion, because Leeds were stunned by that wonderful break that resulted in the try for Dewsbury just a couple of minutes ago.
Graham restarts then. What a showing from this team from the second division though. They've lost their last 3 league matches, but they did win their last game, that preliminary round against the amateurs from Hensingham up in Cumbria. And they're a little bit too eager now to move up as the ball is played. Referee Asquith pins them for offside.
Yes, Craig Whitehead propped forward there, just a little bit too enthusiastic.
Leeds may be shaken up by that try that Dewsbury scored at the start of this second half. They really want to get this game won and quickly. And here's Lord, who created the opening for Schofield. Still going with Bentley. Long pass out to Rombo, the man on the hat-trick. Not this time. Good tackling from Gary Drummond. Here come Leeds again. Harkin to Malloy, to Bentley. Still Bentley. And Dewsbury stuck to the task well. Nearly slid him out of play. He's over the line this time, surely. Bentley not happy with the challenge by John Moore, wagging an accusing finger. Gibson going round the outside. The defence has melted away. That's good play though by the fullback Nathan Graham.
And what a tackle. Oh dearie me. The marbles would have shaken on that one. Gibson was at full flight and Graham really walloped him.
Well, it's really warming up now. One or two fingers being wagged, one or two things being said. The game has moved up a pace. McCabe, though, has lost it. Kuwaiti keeps it going to Malloy. Long pass out from Malloy, but that was asking a bit much of John Bentley. And John Bentley having a word with the steward, retrieving the ball from the snow. Doesn't look too happy.
Yes, I'm sure the steward said a little bit more light-hearted than what Bentley would have said to Malloy. It really was an awful pass. And that's not what we expect from a Leeds side.
Bailey. For Dewsbury. Gallagher's all round him. John Moore, the man in possession. Kelly is the dummy half. All square on the possession time. Dewsbury have certainly not been disgraced here at Headingley. Well done to them. That's good play from Leeds. And it looks to me as though Leeds have the ball back. The referee's awarded a scrum.
Well, Vasey appeared to lose this ball. Then the referee, no, was definitely pinched away by the Leeds player.
Dewsbury have it back. Good tackling this from Leeds, keeping the team from the lower reaches of Division 2 penned in their own quarter. Look. Coughlin, the loose forward in possession. Spacey again. There's 5 tackles gone, and Dewsbury still on their own 22. Well, ambitious stuff. Oh, it's come off for him, Kelly. And what's more, he has 6 more, because the ball just spewed away from Paul Harkin's grasp.
That was good thinking by the hooker. We saw that Harkin was a little bit adrift in the sweeping position.
And so Dewsbury have managed to make it up to halfway. There's Whitehead. 3 tackles gone, shouts the referee. Coughlin, the loose forward. Changes direction of the attack. Gary Cox as well. Kelly. Coughlin. Vasey. Now there's men out wide here. Graham. Leeds desperately keeping them out. Last tackle. There's perhaps a little bit too much Dewsbury meat behind that, or is there? Oh no, he hasn't run dead. But the Dewsbury players have again encroached inside the 10-metre mark. And what's more, they said something out of turn, and so they've been penalised a further 10 metres.
Well, that was silly play by the Dewsbury half, Tim Toole. He should have come back the 10 metres.
Referee holding up the play for a substitution. Peter Hutton. No Peter Hutton, Paul Harkin, the man who is going off. He's been replaced by Francis Maloney, a 17-year-old who makes his debut here. Number 14 for Leeds, there he is. His debut. His father played in the centres for Hull and Dewsbury, would you believe? And he lives in the town of Dewsbury, does Francis Maloney. And David Ward, I know, has high hopes that he could be one of the stars of the future.
Yes, he's got a good future, this youngster. Thought very highly of the Leeds club.
Malloy, though, is in possession. Needs just reorganising behind Malloy as he's tackled. Now Schofield misses out Maloney and finds Kuwaiti. That's good play, and that's great support from Gallagher. Gallagher still going strongly down that touchline. Good tackling on him by his opposite number, Schofield. There's Maloney, first touch. Gunn. Still Richard Gunn, Maloney in support. Good driving run from the youngster. What a day it would be for him if he could get a try in his debut. Bentley in the corner. John Bentley, 6th of the season. He's now scored 5 tries in his last 7 matches. And John Bentley has edged Leeds even closer to the second round of the Silk Cut Challenge Cup.
Well, it was just a simple manner of getting the ball out wide. Bentley there. There you see the Dewsbury defence. They'd been stretched before. The wonderful run earlier. There you see the long ball out wide. The wingman all at sea. But that all came about by the wonderful break by John Gallagher down the left-hand touchline. And Leeds, the simple procedure of passing the ball out wide to the right, creating the overlap, and there's the man who'll be very pleased indeed.
Playing some of his best rugby league of his career, John Bentley, since his transition from England Rugby Union and Sale. And having a bit of a repartee with the Dewsbury crowd in this stand on this near side. Schofield's attempted conversion, another one from way out on the touchline. Not the best conditions for a kicker, but Leeds 22, Dewsbury 10. And now you've got to fancy that Leeds are just about in the second round.
Well, I don't think there's going to be any doubt about that. Let's face it, Leeds have scored 5 tries against the Dewsbury 1. But let's take nothing away from the Dewsbury boys. They've worked very, very hard. It was expected, and really Leeds should now carve the Dewsbury defence up.
They have a quarter of the game in which to do it. We're midway through this second half. Schofield, Malloy. Maloney's there in support if they could have got it to him. That's good play. Heron finds Powell. Leeds now rampant, as they should be. Schofield, doesn't he cling on to those brilliantly with one hand? We see him doing that every time our cameras are here. Schofield again. Gibson. There could be a hat-trick on the way here for Rombo. It went the wrong way. Schofield playing tricks with the ball again, and Schofield's in for try number 2 for him. Try number 6 for Leeds. And I hope that the boys from Dewsbury aren't going to be embarrassed at the end of the day, because it's been for them a titanic effort.
It certainly has, and here we see the simple procedure of Dewsbury not moving up in the play the ball situation. They didn't have a straight line of defence. They really are grasping at straws there. You saw 2 attempts to try to get Schofield down far too high. Gibson swinging the ball back inside. Lord, who's had quite a good game here, Lord. Good backing up. Now there you see the Dewsbury defence. They try to claw at him. That's no good. It's so easy for Schofield.
So 3 tries for Leeds in around about 11 minutes. The extra 2 added by Gary Schofield. And poor old Dewsbury, well, their jerseys remind me a little bit of Wasps and Hornets, but they've almost poked a stick at the Hornets' nest by scoring that try early on in this second half, and Leeds really have snapped back in the best possible way. Peter Hutton is downstairs. News of another substitution, Peter.
Yeah, Dewsbury rattling the changes. Man coming on, number 14, Pat Howley. He's going to replace the number 6, Chris Vasey. Chris Vasey still struggling with that knock to his ankle he received early in the second half.
So Chris Vasey departs. Howley comes on, and Vasey's been kicking the goals in this second half. Patrick Howley, who's made 2 substitution appearances this season, can also kick the odd goal or 2. Kuwaiti for Leeds.
the scoreline of Leeds 26, Dewsbury 10. Leeds will be looking now to go through their attacking patterns.
Bentley is one of the try scorers. Schofield. Had an all good ball. Steaming forward is Gary Lord. Now Kuwaiti. Long pass out to Creaser. Ball in field to Kuwaiti. Gallagher there to continue the movement. Leeds starting to throw the ball about with gay abandon. Maloney's the dummy half. Kuwaiti. Schofield. Gibson. Gibson heading for the corner. Ball inside. And there's another try for Leeds. And it's John Bentley. Another try for him. And Dewsbury's world has fell apart.
Most certainly, once again, Leeds keeping the ball alive. And it's so difficult for a second division side to keep up with the pace. Lovely long ball here by Schofield. Out to Gibson. Look how he takes his hit. There was nobody at home. He drew across the Dewsbury defence, made it all so easy for Bentley. There you see Gibson. He knows that you see the Dewsbury players coming across. They've gone, nobody in front, and Bentley in for a very easy 4 points.
Fourth Leeds try inside a quarter of an hour. Second for John Bentley this afternoon. And there seems to be some discussion involving referee on both sides. Peter Hutton, I think you're earwigging, aren't you?
Yeah, David Asquith just down in front of me talking to the Dewsbury number 5. That's Dennis Bailey and Carl Gibson. Dennis Bailey had to be separated from Gibson by the touch judge after that try. A few hard words, a few hard stares. We eventually sorted out by Asquith and ready for the kick.
Well, I told you Dennis Bailey was a nightclub bouncer. And that's a successful kick from Gary Schofield. And they really are rubbing the salt in now, I'm afraid. 34-10. Leeds have this tie in their pocket. So you can just sit back now and see Leeds cut loose. The pressure must surely now be off. And Leeds now can run the tries in. Another substitution. Martin McCabe has been taken off and Andy Dickinson rejoins the fray. Well, a couple of men out there now on hat-tricks, aren't they? Bentley on a hat-trick, Rombo on a hat-trick, and Schofield on a hat-trick.
Well, there's a man, Rombo. He's limping, and he hasn't been seen for the last 5 or 6 minutes. Obviously been injured a little bit earlier in the game.
It's a cold day. Could be the old hamstrings are being pulled a little bit too much. Gallagher. Good tackling by Tim Toole. He still managed to keep it going though. There's Gary Lord. Now will we see Rombo this time? Well, Gibson's on his way again. Gibson running straight and running powerfully, but that's an excellent tackle on him by Nathan Graham, the full-back. Rombo from dummy half. Schofield. Oh, when they're in this sort of mood, all right, it's only second division. They're good to watch, Leeds. Schofield and Heron and Kuwaiti. This is the last tackle and Leeds are in again. Kuwaiti for Leeds. Did he drop it? No, the referee gives the try. And it really is becoming just a little bit too easy now for Leeds. If the referee and the timekeepers were kind, they'd blow the siren and Dewsbury's agony could be brought to a premature end.
Well, here you see Dewsbury defence hanging off. Really was the most easiest tries. Poor Nathan Graham, will remember this game, scoring a try and also thinking that the Apaches are still coming at him. Really is a Custer's last stand there. There's nothing he could do about it. Wants the momentum. Touch and go maybe, but the referee gave him the benefit of the doubt, Kuwaiti. Heron really has had quite an impact on this game since he came on as substitute. But there you see the Dewsbury defence all at sea. The forwards caught on the blind side. And that's the major difference between the first and second divisions. The fitness and, of course, the commitment and the defence all the way through.
Mike Kuiti, try scorer. It's number 9 of the season for him. Kiwi tourist last year, just joined Leeds a year ago. Leeds' 8th try of the afternoon. Schofield trying to add the extras, and does. Goal number 4 for Gary Schofield. They've hit the 40 mark. Leeds 40, Dewsbury 10, and still 10 minutes to go. Time for a few more.
Well, who would have thought it really? The score really doesn't do justice to the effort that Dewsbury have put on today.
A long way to go yet before Leeds can really hit the record books. They scored 68 points to 5 about 6 years ago on a day like this, with snow on the ground in the Challenge Cup against Bridgend of South Wales. So Leeds still some way short of their record mark, but they're coasting it now. But what a gallant little fight it's been, Mike, particularly when that try went over early in the second half. Dewsbury looked as though they'd shaken heading to its boots.
Well, not only did they shake them to the boots, they shake the Leeds side into action. Within the space of 8 minutes, Leeds had hit back with 3 tries. The game was all over.
And what's more, Leeds are still coming forward looking for more, but that was asking a lot from Malloy on Rombo. Ball out of play.
Well, quite often you find that when the game has been won so easily, a little bit of individual stuff, they try something which they normally wouldn't do. He's worked very hard, Malloy, today.
It'll be one this, though, that Leeds will be delighted to get out of the way. All their other main rivals for the Challenge Cup having to have the day off because of the Arctic weather conditions. But Leeds will go to their beds tonight safe in the knowledge that they're one step nearer Wembley. The rest still have it all to do. Enterprising stuff. Kuiti. Well, they might get caught if they're not careful, and they might concede a silly try. They don't want to be too flamboyant.
Well, even though they're winning easily by 40 points to 10 Leeds, it's not their attacking thing. I'm sure that their coach David Ward will be looking for. He'll want to keep that try line intact. Don't let Dewsbury in for another try.
Good cover defence from Drummond. There's David Ward. His expression hasn't really changed in the last quarter of an hour, but I'm sure inwardly he must be breathing a huge sigh of relief. But here come Dewsbury again. That's the second row forward. Dickinson just back on after taking a breather. And there's Patrick Howley. Oh, that was forward. Well, that was a mile forward. Referee has let them play on. Cox. Little charity from Mr. Asquith, perhaps.
Let's say he was just in a bad position.
Kelly, who's worked hard. In fact, they all have, the Dewsbury boys. Whitehead in possession. Last tackle. Kelly again. Well, oh, they're in! Great stuff! But was he offside? Chris Squires, the try scorer. And, well, element of controversy perhaps.
Well, let's see. This really was a lovely little kick. It was intended. He certainly looked offside to me. Squires looked to be about a yard in front, but the referee, there you see Squires on your right, just disappearing from the screen. It was a set move, but I think that Lady Luck shine in a little bit, and why not?
Well, the referee allowed them to go on when it looked a mile forward, the pass a couple of moves earlier. Perhaps turning a blind eye, who knows. Graham's kicked the goal. Dewsbury, a little bit of consolation.
Consolation indeed. And there's the man that scored the try, but full credit to Dewsbury. They really have put on some very, very good moves. And that was very reminiscent of what Derek Fox did on 2 occasions last week against Sheffield. A similar type of kick, looking towards the open side, but reefing the ball back behind him, and it certainly paid off.
So 40 points to 16. 5 minutes or so to go. But I think Mr. Schofield knows he's on the way to the second round, but he's urging his men to a big effort for the last 5. Maloney picks it up. Shows some good promise, this fella. And David Creaser, scorer over 1,000 points for his club, just making a slight bungle of that pass from Maloney. It was a little bit behind him, to be fair.
But it's certainly impressed me, this young Maloney, showing a lot of skills in the time that he's been on the field. And maybe we're looking at another star of the future.
Mike, it's difficult to assess a side on a day like this. Leeds, we know, have had their problems recently in winning, particularly away from Headingley. Are we watching a side here, do you think, in the blue and amber, capable of going all the way to Wembley on the 29th of April?
I think that Leeds will find it very difficult indeed. They won't glean much from this. Probably the most disturbing factor for their coach David Ward is the fact that Dewsbury have breached them on many occasions.
And here they come again. That's a good ball inside to Toole. Gallagher was nowhere. They're managing to keep it going. Well, no, they're not. Kelly and the tall winger Bailey just couldn't get those icy fingers to that ball. But almost on cue, Dewsbury breached the Leeds line again. And now Leeds striking back with Kuwaiti. He tried to get Rombo in. And Leeds and Dewsbury have it back through Barry Drummond. Had a good run though from the full-back Nathan Graham.
He's had a big game, this youngster. But getting back to that Leeds situation and whether they'll be pleased with the result, I suppose that some of their support play has been quite effective. But I wonder when Leeds, they always seem to use Kuwaiti as an extra centre, whether they can get away with using that ploy against a top First Division club, we'll have to wait and see.
Kelly, that's a good ball. This is Gary Cox, and that's another lovely reverse pass to Coughlin. And there goes Squires. Oh, he's turned Gallagher inside out, and Chris Squires has scored another. Well, Gallagher rolls over on his back and won't be happy to see that very often. But Chris Squires really has turned the £350,000 fullback inside out here.
Well, this for me is the best try of the game. Look at that lovely pass inside. That was wonderful play there by Gary Cox. And the support play, the step, £300,000 going the wrong way, and probably £30 making him look a little bit foolish. Now look at the support play once again. It's a problem for Leeds. They get split. Have they thrown the towel in, Dewsbury? No, they have not, and he fully deserves that 4 points.
Chris Vasey then, another of the players on display here today, who's on a hat-trick. And Nathan Graham to take the kick. I think I said Chris Vasey then about the try scorer. Of course, the fellow's name is Chris Squires. Apologies for that. 40-20 then, Leeds are ahead. Nathan Graham with the penalty. Only 19. And Dewsbury, Mike Stevenson, really have done the second division proud in my book.
Well, we mentioned earlier that David Ward would be probably a little bit concerned with the amount of latitude that the Leeds defence has allowed Dewsbury on several occasions. There's certainly a lot of difference between the two sides in fitness and speed, but the effort you cannot take away from the boys in the red, amber and black.
Penalty at the scrum to Dewsbury. Jack Addy, proud man, saying yesterday when I spoke to him that, well, a defeat by about 30 points and a nice little fat cheque would go down quite nicely, although they were coming here to win. Well, he's done better than that by 10 points. And some hardy souls have braved the Arctic weather to get out here. And so Dewsbury will go home with a nice paycheck. Leeds aren't finished yet. Bit of a facial on Gibson by Craig Whitehead. Just half a minute of the match remaining, plus any time added on by the timekeepers for stoppages. Gallagher being pushed back. I must say I'm not too impressed with the treatment that Gallagher is receiving from some of the opposition in the game at the moment. John Gallagher was picked up and pushed back by the Dewsbury players. He's had a real introduction to the game, and look at that. Now the referee rightly has moved in, but that's disgraceful.
It certainly is. A man of so much calibre. Now Gallagher being called across by the referee. He did throw a few punches, but he'd every right to. That is not in the game of rugby league, boys. And referees have to stamp this out.
They certainly do. Gallagher, a big money import from rugby union. I remember David Watkins saying some time ago that he used to get shouted at by the crowd that he should hit them with his wallet just because he had the big money signing on fee, and the referees offered him little protection, but the referees must give these big stars some protection in the game today, in my view.
Yes, I have to agree, Eddie. It doesn't matter how fat your wallet is. If you finish up in a wheelchair, it's going to do you no good. Absolutely right. And this is sad, Eddie, that this game is deteriorating in the final seconds. Once again, we see a barrage of players going in. Few swinging arms.
And I think one or two of the Leeds players there were claiming that perhaps someone had been going for the eyes. And if that is the case, well, it's a sad end, a sad epitaph to Dewsbury's big day. Maloney. Well, I've been impressed with this boy since he came on. No wonder David Ward thinks highly of him. Icy fingers. Bailey collects for Dewsbury. It's all over for the men from the second division. I hope it doesn't degenerate in the closing moments here. 2 minutes of stoppage time played. Kelly, who's led his team well. There's the siren. It's all over. Leeds are through to the second round. Handshakes all round. That's what's so good about the game. It can be blood and thunder out there, but the players of both sides quick to offer the hand of friendship once the final siren goes. Leeds then safely through to the second round of the Challenge Cup. They've beaten Dewsbury by 40 points to 20. The details: 2 tries for Eddie Rombo, 1 from Gibson, 2 from Gary Schofield, 2 from John Bentley and Mike Kawiti. Schofield with 4 goals. Dewsbury, they battled hard. Tries from Graham, Squires with a couple, and goals 2 apiece from Graham and Vasey. Dewsbury rattled Leeds, but at the end of the day, Leeds are through to round 2. We'll have reaction from Headingley after this break.